If you've been running Meta ads at all, you've probably noticed that Meta, Facebook, Instagram, they keep adding all these different little settings into the ad platform. And some of these are like kind of tricky and will just burn through your budget. And so really quickly in this video, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna walk through like a quick campaign setup and look at what are the settings that you wanna have on that's gonna help you get more customers, and what are the settings that you want to avoid so that you're not just like burning through your budget. Now, I have spent millions of dollars on Facebook ads over the last 10 years, and the platform has changed a lot since then. If you're just getting started and you're trying to figure out how to run ads for your business, there are the timeless principles of marketing and psychology that will never change. And these are the fundamentals. That is the most important thing to focus on. Then there are the little tactical things like what we're going to go in this video that change fairly often. Now, these are not nearly as important as the fundamentals, but these are important to keep up with nonetheless. So let's just walk through a campaign setup together, and let's just look at like what are the buttons you need to tick in order to make sure that you can run the most effective ads. Okay, so we're here inside my account, and what we need to do is just choose our first campaign. So let's say we are trying to set up a lead generation campaign. We want to generate leads online. And so we're going to do that. The very first thing it's going to do is have you prompt to like do this tailored leads campaign or the manual leads campaign. I never really use this ever. Actually, I always go with the manual setup because I find that this is where we just kind of have the most control and can start to do things. Again, we have like our 3 levels of Facebook ads. So we've got our campaign, our ad set, and our ads. And so really the big one, the only one at the campaign level is this campaign budget that they will try to push you to. This is the CBO budget. This I find works really well. Actually, we use this all the time now. We used to not use this as much and was only like really a scaling strategy. Now when we start new campaigns and we even start testing new offers, we'll just start with CBO right out the gate, and that works great for us. So CBO is definitely like okay on this list. And so then when we get to this next part, so right now we're setting up like a lead generation campaign. The first thing that we see is it's going to like recommend that we do instant forms. One of the things that we'll notice and what I want to point out here is like Facebook is going to keep trying to direct you into using what they think is going to be like the most efficient way to, accomplish your objectives on the platform. And what we want to do is know what they're going to try to push us to and make sure that we're setting things up the way we want. So I don't like using instant forms. A lot of people do. And I think that they're good in different markets. Particularly for what we're doing. Like all of my clients are trying to generate high ticket clients online. Like we're trying to sell high ticket offers, typically over the phone. We need good quality leads. So for that, we're always finding that we get better quality leads when we actually run people through like a landing page and a funnel in order to get people to, basically raise their hand and say they want to talk to our sales team or be interested in our offers. So we always go with website. We don't do instant forms. Some people do. If you're on a super small budget, maybe in a different market or whatever, you could test it out, but not a big fan of it. Then keeping going. So the thing that we'll see is like the 2 big ones are this Advantage Plus audience and then this Advantage Plus placements. So at this stage, we just use both of these. There are situations where we might want to come in here and just remove some of these other different placements and basically like just run on Facebook and Instagram. But I would say we do this like 10% of the time. That might be like if we're only running like content retargeting or we're trying to run video ads solely on the platform, something like that. But 90% of the time, we will just come in here and just run the full Advantage Plus placements. Now, the big one here is like the Advantage Plus audience. So here you can put in audience suggestions. So here we could add like your lookalikes, we could add interest targeting, any of those things. The thing is with Advantage Plus, it's like they're going to show your ads to people who are most likely to respond. And then they'll show to other audiences when it's likely to improve performance. So you can turn that off and switch back to the original audience. The thing is, what you'll notice is they're going to do the same thing. So even down here, it's like if you put interest targeting, they're still going to deliver those ads beyond those people if they think it's going to improve performance. So while we might test with this original audience, if we're like just getting started on a brand new campaign, again, 80% of the time, we just run this Advantage Plus audience. So Advantage Plus audience and Advantage Plus placements, we have found like these are fine. We just run with it. I've got a whole nother video that I'll link up in one of these corners on like how to do audience targeting that you can check out. The main thing here is making sure that you are choosing the right conversion location based on what you want to be optimizing for with your campaign. So at the ad level is where I find they're trying to trick you the most, because this is where they're starting to add a whole bunch of stuff that we definitely want to turn off. Okay, so we're just going to start to kind of fill this out so we can just see where are the different things that they're going to start to prompt you to add to your campaign. So yeah, you just need to throw in like a website URL. So notice again here, like the first thing it did was we unselected the lead gen forms here. but then it just still is trying to push you to use lead gen form. So we don't want that. Now, when we go to set up this creative, you can see the first thing it does is it starts adding site links. Now, typically in any kind of like direct response, conversion focused campaign, the last thing we want to do is add a bunch of distracting links. They're going to take people to not our landing page. You know, like we've put in a lot of work to write a really good landing page. The last thing we want to do is send people not to our landing page. And I'm just going to grab a creative here and we're going to keep going. This is all fine. Now for text. So I'm just going to throw some text in here. And this is the next thing that I've seen will happen is it starts trying to like add a bunch of AI generated copy. This is more or less like a remix of what I already wrote, but I've seen this stuff be terrible, like the cheesiest, worst copy that I've seen. And where I find you need to be cautious is like right now, this is defaulting to off. But oftentimes what I've seen is like when we start duplicating ads, sometimes all of a sudden this just turns on. And so I always make sure that this is turned off. I just don't think that the Facebook AI writes really good copy, and doesn't think writes good copy at all. And so for that reason, we want to avoid it. This is also another thing that I would avoid. Like this right now looks like slight generated remixes of what I already have in there, but I have seen this be wildly off and terrible creatives. And so this is where I would also skip that as well. Then we get into these enhancements. So anything that is pretty simple, visual touch-ups, music, 3D animation, image animation, enhanced CTA, I think all of that stuff is fine. Where you want to be careful is I would say turn off translating text if you don't have a landing page and a funnel that is translated into a different language. And because if you have people for whatever reason opting in a different language, I don't think you want to have them show up to a landing page that's not in the language that they're reading in. And then also this text improvements. Again, so this is where it's just going to start generating a bunch of AI generated copy in order to try to increase click-through rate. But again, you have no control over what it is. You won't really be able to see what's going on until much later. And so I think that you want to spend time coming up with really good ads, and you don't want Facebook's AI to just throw all that out the window and then come up with other stuff that you didn't write. And if we were actually setting this up, of course, we want to make sure we have our pixel on and our URL parameters, but that's pretty much it. So again, the thing that I would be really careful about is as you're going through and setting this stuff up and you are duplicating, one thing that I have seen is that Facebook will start to try to auto enable this stuff. So it's not uncommon that you come in here and do what most people do is you come in, you set up all your ad sets, and then you come in here and you duplicate your ad set to change out the targeting or change out the creative or whatever it is. And then I come in here at the ad level and all of a sudden I see like, oh my gosh, site links are enabled again. Or this AI text generation now is turned on. And so you just kind of want to be careful and double check this. Wrapping all this up into a super quick checklist, just so you know what's working for us. CBO is fine. Advantage plus audience and Advantage plus placements, also fine. So that's at the campaign at the ad set level. Where you want to be careful is at the ad level. AI copy, I would not be using. AI generated creatives, also would not be using. Unless you go in there and specifically see one that you think is actually good. But just by default enabling it, all of it on, I wouldn't suggest that. Site links, definitely not. And like the AI enhancements where it's translating text, changing your copy, all of that stuff, I wouldn't have that enabled either. Basically, to sum all of it up, you want to focus on coming up with great ads. And you want to make sure that you're controlling what the settings are in the platform so that when you come up with great ads, there's not a little box ticked that's like, hey, I came up with all these great ads. Facebook, throw all that out the window, do whatever you want. And then you can let the algorithm do the rest. So CBO campaigns, advantage targeting, advantage placements, all of that stuff we found is fine. Maybe you want to have a little bit more control in the beginning if you're just getting started with a brand new offer. But after a few weeks, once you've got some data on the pixel and you can start running, usually all of that stuff is fine. And then just really focus all your attention on the creatives. That's it. Hopefully this was a valuable video for you. If you have any questions or like you have a different setup that seems to be working for you, just drop it down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. That really does help me make more videos like this. If you want some help with all of this, running Facebook ads for your business, just check out the links down in the description below. Otherwise, I've got a ton of other videos on this channel all about how we run Facebook ads to get clients. So check those out. I hope you have a great day out there and I hope to catch you in another video soon.